I'll never forget the moment I first heard it, a whisper, sharp and cold, slicing through the silence of that empty house. My name, Ellie, hissed from somewhere deep in the walls, like someone was standing just out of sight, watching me. I froze, my flashlight trembling in my hand, the beam cutting wild arcs across the peeling wallpaper. I was alone, or at least, I thought I was. My name's Ellie Harper, a 24-year-old journalism grad student at Austin. In the summer of 2025, I was hunting for a story to pitch to my professor, something to make my portfolio stand out. I'd always been drawn to the paranormal, not because I believed in it, but because people's stories about it were raw, human, and real. Fear makes people honest. So when I stumbled across a Reddit thread about a supposedly haunted house in a small Texas town called Blackwood, I couldn't resist. The post was vague, just enough to hook me. An old Victorian on Elm Street, abandoned for decades, tied to a grisly murder in the 1920s. Locals swore the place was cursed, that anyone who went inside never came out the same. Perfect, I thought. A creepy house, a dark history, and a chance to debunk some ghost stories on camera for my YouTube channel. Blackwood was a 2-hour drive from Austin, a sleepy speck of a town with sagging porches and rusted pickup trucks. Elm Street was on the edge of town, where the pavement gave way to cracked dirt and overgrown mesquite. The house was impossible to miss, a 3-story Victorian with a widow's walk. Its black shutters hanging like broken teeth, the windows were clouded with grime, and the front porch sagged under the weight of time. It looked like it was waiting for something, or someone. I parked my beat-up Honda Civic and grabbed my gear, a GoPro, a flashlight, and my phone for backup audio. My plan was simple: spend a night inside, record some spooky footage, and weave in the history for a viral video. I'd read about the house's past in the county archives. In 1923, the Whitaker family lived there, Thomas, Margaret, and their 8-year-old daughter, Clara. One night, Thomas snapped. He killed Margaret with a kitchen knife, then himself. Clara was never found. The official report called it a murder-suicide, but rumors swirled that Clara's body was hidden somewhere in the house, and her spirit never left. Locals claimed they'd seen lights flickering in the windows or heard a child's laughter at night. I didn't buy it, but it was good material. The front door creaked open with a push, the lock long since rusted away. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and the smell of mildew hit me like a wall. My sneakers crunched on broken glass, and the floorboards groaned under my weight. The foyer was grand once, with a chandelier dangling like a skeleton above a spiral staircase. My flashlight caught faded portraits on the wall, stern faces staring out from cracked frames. I set up my GoPro on a tripod, hit record, and started narrating. Hey guys, it's Ellie, and welcome to Blackwood's creepiest spot, the Whitaker House. In 1923, this place was the scene of a brutal murder. Tonight, I'm spending the night to see if the rumors are true. Stick around and let me know in the comments if you've ever had a paranormal experience. I forced a smile, but my stomach was already twisting. The house felt wrong, like it was holding its breath. I shook it off and explored the ground floor. The living room had an overturned sofa, its stuffing spilling out like guts. The kitchen was worse, rusted knives scattered on the counter, one with a dark stain I didn't want to think about. I kept talking to the camera, describing the history, but my voice sounded thin, like the house was swallowing it. Upstairs, the air grew colder. The hallway was lined with doors, most jammed shut. One opened to a child's bedroom, and my heart stopped. In the center of the room was a dollhouse, a perfect miniature of the Whitaker house, down to the tiny chandelier and spiral staircase. It was beautiful but eerie, like it had been untouched by time. The furniture inside was meticulously arranged, a tiny kitchen table with plates, a bedroom with a 4-poster bed, even a little family of wooden dolls, a man, a woman, and a girl. The Whitaker family. I laughed nervously, aiming my flashlight at the dollhouse. Okay, this is creepy. Look at this thing, it's like a snapshot of the house before, you know. I zoomed in with the GoPro, my hands shaking slightly. That's when I noticed it. The tiny doll of the girl was standing in the miniature hallway, holding a knife. My breath caught. That's not right, I muttered. I was sure the doll had been in the bedroom a second ago. I backed away, my pulse hammering. The room felt smaller, the shadows deeper. I told myself it was a trick of the light, but then I heard it, the whisper. Ellie. It came from behind me, low and deliberate, like a child practicing a new word. I spun around, my flashlight sweeping the room. Nothing. Just the dollhouse, sitting there like it was watching me. Okay, nope, that's enough for now, I said to the camera, my voice cracking. I grabbed my stuff and retreated to the hallway, my heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I told myself it was just my imagination, that old houses make weird noises. But the whisper had been so clear, so close. I kept filming, because if I stopped, I'd have to admit I was scared. I set up camp in the living room, sitting cross-legged on a sleeping bag I'd brought. My phone pinged with a low battery warning, 10%. Weird, since I'd charged it fully before leaving. I switched to the GoPro's battery and kept recording, narrating to calm myself. So it's about midnight now, and I'm trying not to freak out. Old houses creak, right? That's all it was, but it wasn't. Around 1 a.m., I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, deliberate, like someone pacing. I froze, my flashlight pointed at the ceiling. The footsteps stopped right above me, then started again, moving toward the staircase. I gripped my flashlight like a weapon, my mouth dry. Who's there? I called, my voice barely above a whisper. No answer, just the creak of the stairs, one by one, getting closer. I bolted to my feet, my sleeping bag tangling around my legs. The GoPro was still recording, its red light blinking in the dark. The footsteps stopped at the bottom of the stairs, and I swear I saw something, a shadow, tall and thin, flickering in the doorway. It was gone before I could focus, but my skin was crawling. I wanted to run, but my car keys were upstairs, in the child's bedroom. I'd left them there when I saw the dollhouse. I forced myself to climb the stairs, each step feeling like a plunge into ice water. The hallway was pitch black now, my flashlight barely cutting through the gloom. The child's bedroom door was ajar, though I was sure I'd closed it. Inside, the dollhouse was different. The tiny girl doll was in the miniature living room now, standing exactly where I'd been downstairs. The knife was gone, but her head was tilted, like she was looking up at me. I grabbed my keys, my hands shaking so badly I dropped them twice. That's when I heard it again, Ellie. This time, it came from the dollhouse itself, a soft, sing-song voice that made my blood run cold. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. The noise echoed, and for a moment, I thought I heard laughter, a child's laughter, faint and mocking. I ran downstairs, not caring about the footage anymore. But when I reached the front door, it wouldn't budge. The handle turned, but it was like the door was sealed shut. Panic clawed at my chest. I banged on the wood, screaming for help, but Blackwood was too far from town for anyone to hear. My phone was dead now, and the GoPro's battery was flashing red. I was trapped. Desperate, I went back to the living room, trying to think. That's when I noticed the dollhouse again. It was downstairs now, sitting in the middle of the room. I hadn't brought it down. I hadn't even touched it. My knees buckled, and I sank to the floor, staring at the tiny replica. The girl doll was in the foyer now, standing by the front door. Her head was tilted again, and this time, she was holding a tiny key. I don't know why I did it, but I reached into the dollhouse and picked up the key. It was cold, heavier than it should have been. As soon as I touched it, the front door creaked open behind me. I didn't look back. I grabbed my gear and sprinted to my car, peeling out of Blackwood without looking in the rearview mirror. When I got home, I uploaded the footage to my laptop, expecting to see nothing but shadows and my own panic. But there was something else. In the background of every shot, the dollhouse was there, even when I hadn't filmed it. And in one frame, just for a split second, I saw her, a girl in a white dress, standing in the hallway, her eyes black and empty. She was smiling. I started digging deeper into the Whitaker case, using my university's archives and old newspapers. What I found made my stomach churn. Clara didn't just disappear. A neighbor's testimony, buried in the police report, claimed they saw Clara playing with the dollhouse the night of the murders. They said she was talking to it, like it was answering back. The report dismissed it as a child's imagination, but I wasn't so sure anymore. I found a grainy photo of the dollhouse in an evidence log. It was the same one I'd seen, down to the tiny chandelier. The log noted it was never removed from the house. Here's the twist that keeps me up at night. The dollhouse wasn't just a toy. It was built by Thomas Whitaker, a toy maker with a reputation for special creations. An article from 1921 mentioned he'd been obsessed with occult symbols, carving them into his work. The dollhouse was his masterpiece, a gift for Clara's 8th birthday. After the murders, people reported seeing the dolls move on their own, rearranging themselves when no one was looking. The house was boarded up, but the dollhouse stayed, like it was part of the place. I haven't gone back to Blackwood, and I never will. I posted the video on YouTube, and it's racked up thousands of views. The comments are full of people sharing their own paranormal stories, shadows in their homes, whispers in the dark. Some say I should have destroyed the dollhouse, but I couldn't bring myself to touch it again. I still have the tiny key, hidden in a drawer I never open. Sometimes at night, I think I hear it, a faint whisper, calling my name. What about you guys? Have you ever been somewhere that felt wrong, seen something you can't explain? Drop it in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone.